A novelist would talk about our two arts in a totally different way. Another poet would talk about the difference in a totally different way.
Yeah.
I will say that, okay, two more things I'll say. Well, one more thing I'll say, very briefly. And this isn't original. I got this from a critic named Frank Kermode in a book called Romantic Image. He pointed this out some time ago. There's a world of difference between the novel from its beginnings to the end of the 19th century and the novel since the end of the 19th century, beginning of the 20th. The novel up to the end of the 19th century was like sociology on wheels. It was sociology before sociology existed. People went to the novel to learn about their worlds. It was a kind of higher journalism. Henry James described the process of novel writing this way. He said, well, you know, here I am, and I've cut off my wedge of the pie of reality, and over there is Turgenev. He's cut off his wedge of the pie, and there's Flaubert, Balzac, and they've cut off their wedge of the pie, and there's an infinite number of wedges to cut off. So I'm looking forward to an Ecuadorian novelist, a Canadian novelist, an African novelist, you see? And we all help each other, and we all respect each other, and it's all very collegial, because we're all involved in the same enterprise. Yes, fine. He's describing the 19th century novel. He's describing realism. And then, says Kermode, World War I comes along. And realism is intolerable because reality is intolerable. And the novel changes. The novel of Kafka, Beckett, even someone like Proust, even someone like Hemingway, is not like a 19th century novel. It is like poetry in that it imposes one individual's vision. Reading in the 20th century, reading prose in the 20th century, said Kermode, is like undergoing a series of religious conversions. You go from the religion of Proust to the religion of Faulkner to the religion of Hemingway. You want to be taken over by the worldview of the novelist you're reading. And then you go on to the next. In my experience, this is true. I read 9 Nabokov novels. He's the one who wrote Lolita. Wonderful novels. I was taken over by Nabokov. I read 9 Nabokov novels in a row. I read all 12 novels of Anthony Powell's Dance to the Music of Time. Anthony Powell was called the English Proust. Wonderful novels. An English Proust is an oxymoron, can't be done. And I was taken over by their worldview. Very different worldviews. And I enjoyed this. But is that what James was describing? Is that what Dickens understood as the function of the novel? Or even Dostoevsky? Okay, why am I saying this? Why am I going into this little bit of history? Because I think the novel will die. I don't think the novel will last. Why not? Because the bourgeoisie won't. I don't know what will succeed in the bourgeoisie. I fear that what succeeds the bourgeoisie will be something much less rational, much more religious, much more nationalistic, much more easily led, much more superstitious, much dirtier and nastier, and poorer. As the poet Matthew Mead said, one plane a week, one train a day. Think about it. But you know something? Poetry will still be there. If we're down to a few last campfires, coughing our lungs out, if we have no breath remaining,